Namaste and hi friends, it's Parvati here with Visionary Veda, coming to you today with your Vedic astrology report on this amazing vernal equinox if you're in the northern hemisphere. And in the southern hemisphere is autumn equinox, but irrespective of where you are on the globe today, it's the day of equinox or equilibrium or balance. In this Vedic astrology report, I'm going to talk a little bit about, or a lot about, the significations of equinox and also some practices that can be done on this day, undertaken on this day, as well as the Vedic astrology report on the planetary positions of this week. And then in the end, I'm going to close by teaching you or demonstrating to you a pranayama or a breathing exercise that can be used today. It could be used at all times, but especially today, to balance the lunar and the solar energies within our bodies. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so today, March the 20th, marks the vernal equinox or the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere, or the autumn equinox in the southern hemisphere. Okay, it's a really special day because it is a day where the night and the day are of equal length. So it is in balance, right? Both the night and the day, the dark and the light, are in a balance, an equilibrium. But what makes this equinox even more special is that right now, and actually in a few hours, according to the Vedic system, the moon is moving from the sidereal sign of Taurus, where it's been sitting with Rahu and Mars, which hasn't been easy, is moving into the sidereal sign of Gemini, right? So Gemini, we've got the duality, but when it moves into Gemini in a couple of hours, it's also going to be half moon exactly. How cool is that? We have the solar dimension in balance and we have the lunar dimension in balance because it's half moon on the same day as it is the solar dimension is also in balance. Okay, so at the end of this report, I am going to demonstrate one of my favorite pranayama exercises or breathing exercises to help bring balance within our own solar and lunar channels within our bodies, right? And it's a pranayama called analom-vilom. And if you've watched my channel, if you've been following me, you know that I have demonstrated this before. But if you'd like to learn this pranayama, which is profoundly helpful in bringing balance to our minds and our bodies and our emotions, then please stick with this report until the end where I will be demonstrating it. All right, so that is half moon happening and equinox happening. Next week I will do another report, but next week will be full moon, as well as the Indian holiday big spring celebration of Holi, or the festival of colors. All right, now there's also a story that goes with the day of Holi that has to do with purification, and I will talk more about that in my next report. But having said that, today, equinox, or any time in this next week or so, right, or even after the full moon, according to Ayurveda, is the perfect time to undertake a cleanse, right? Like in the West, we talk about spring cleaning, but also we can cleanse our bodies. Now, according to Ayurveda, I'm also an Ayurvedic practitioner. So according to Ayurveda, we can cleanse where the cleanse is the most effective is 2 times a year. Sometimes you could do it 4 times a year, but really 2 times a year. And that's in the spring and in the fall when the seasons are changing, right? So the doshas are also changing. So we're coming from winter and into summer. So it's a good time to let go of whatever energy that we've been holding on to and collecting in the winter, as well as from the summer into the winter, right? And during those two times is when the change is occurring. So we take that energy of change and we also use it, we harness it to clear out and cleanse our bodies. According to Ayurvedic principles, it's very important. I know a lot of people in the West, they do a lot of cleanses around this time as well, but it's very important to rejuvenate oneself after doing a cleanse, because when you do a cleanse to the body, and I'm so sorry that this is happening with the glitching, I wish I can figure out what to do to stop that, but anyway, I'm going to continue. Once we start to cleanse and purify our bodies, the body incurs a lot of stress. Okay, so we want to rejuvenate the body after cleansing the body. So, like stripping the body, purging the body, letting go of things, and then adding very nourishing elements back into us internally as well as externally, like giving or going for oil massage, going for like any kind of relaxing, rejuvenating therapies, eating nourishing foods, rekindling our agnis, or rekindling our digestive fires after purifying and after purgation. So if there is, if you guys would like to learn more about the Ayurvedic spring cleanse, sorry, I get a little bit thrown off when my computer starts to glitch like this. But if you guys would like me to do a video on this, I would be open to doing a video, and I might, if there's enough interest, do a group where we can go through and do an Ayurvedic cleanse together, including the rejuvenation part. Okay, so cleansing right now is definitely supported. Purification, as well as like taking stock as to how we are going to move into the summertime. Like we're moving into the light. So using, oh my God, I'm getting so thrown off by this, you guys. I might just stop it and okay, I'm just going to keep going. So how can we use this time of balance and equilibrium as a foundation on which we can establish our steps forward to move into the time of greater light? How do we want to show up, and what are the steps that we want to take in order to do that? So it's a great time to take stock of how far we've come, where we're at, and to put together some ideas, some plans as to how we want to move forward. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to what is happening in the sky with the planets. All right, so we have, like I mentioned, moon moving into the sign of Gemini, where it's going to be exactly half moon. We have Sun sitting with an exalted Venus. Now this is an amazing combination. Sun is going to be sitting with this Venus in the sign of Pisces until March the 14th, when it will move into its exaltation sign. So for the rest of this month and the first few weeks of April, we're going to have Venus in Pisces, but it's going to be combust. So what that means is it's an excellent time to connect with your higher the higher dimensions, the spiritual dimensions, with your spiritual practices. And because Venus is combust, it internalizes all of its energy. So it's a good time to take any kind of sankalpas, any kind of spiritual practices, to begin any kind of spiritual practices where you feel connected on a deep internal level with your source, with the source. All right, we have also um, Mercury in the sign of Aquarius. So if you're probably going to feel the urge to want to connect with people and celebrate on this spring equinox, which is excellent, as long as you take in account the COVID precautions, of course. But if you can't, your mind is going to want to do something to be able to connect with the greater community. So that's Mercury in Aquarius, and then we have Jupiter still with Saturn in the sign of Capricorn. It's been there for the last several months, most of last year, or since November of last year. Now, Capricorn is the sign of Jupiter's debilitation, right? So we're so blessed because it has moved through the sign of Capricorn so quickly. And on April 5th, it's going to move into Aquarius. Now, Jupiter has been with Saturn, which is the Lord or the ruler of the sign Capricorn. So it hasn't been as bad as if it were by itself. It's gotten support by Saturn, from Saturn. But now when it moves into Aquarius, which is also the sign of Saturn, it is going to have its own energy. It's not going to be debilitated, and it's not going to be sitting with Saturn either. It's going to be on its own, and it's going to be able to work and its energies. It's going to be able to expand. And in the sign of Aquarius, it's very special. I'll talk more about this in another report, but just really quickly, it's super special because Jupiter lends its benefic energies to the world, to everybody. It's more about our communities and less about ourselves, and we're all going to feel it. Look for new ideas to come, new levels of awareness to be reached in mass. Okay, a lot of waking up. In India, there is a sacredest of sacred gathering that happens when Jupiter moves into Aquarius, and it's called the Kumbh Mela. Kumbh is the sign of Aquarius, the water bearer, the kumbh, something that holds, right? And the Mela is the gathering, and this is like an ancient gathering that's been happening for thousands upon thousands of years, and is still happening today, to this day, where all of the spiritual practitioners, right, from the sadhus to the swamis to even the Dalai Lama, come together at the sacred rivers to purify. Again, the theme of purifying, and meet and have a spiritual gathering. It's immense and intense, and it happens when? Every 12 years, when Jupiter goes into the sign of Aquarius. They have it every 3 years, right? Like according to Jupiter's movement. But this is the Maha time, the main time, the Kumbh Mela. So when Jupiter moves into Aquarius, this is when we're going to get great change, and change coming from a benefic, sattvic, higher level in mass. All right, so it's a very exciting time. And that starts on April 5th. And I'll talk more about that in my upcoming videos. Okay, so last but not least, the breathing exercise, the pranayama. Okay, so this is called alternate nostril breathing. It's a very simple exercise. The most important thing, thank you Ananda Shakti, is to start and end with the left nostril, okay? And so what the practice is it goes like this. You close your right nostril, you breathe in, and we'll just do a simple 4-count version. So you breathe in for 4 counts, then you hold for 4, and then you breathe out your right nostril 4, and then you hold for 4. And then you breathe in your right nostril 4 counts, hold 4 counts, breathe out from your left nostril. And that's one round. And you start again. Breathe in from the left, hold. Breathe out from the right, hold. Breathe in from the right, hold. Breathe out from the left, hold. You always want to start and end on the left-hand side. And what this does, it balances your left and right hemisphere. It balances the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous systems, and it brings the whole body into alignment, peace. Oh my, it's so peaceful, and balance. And what a perfect day to begin this practice, to utilize this practice. Again, you can do this practice on any day, but especially today on the solar dimension when the day and the night are equal, and as well on the lunar dimension where it's half moon, where it's half light and half dark. This brings, we can experience this internal balance of yin and yang, of masculine and feminine, of Shiva and Shakti. So with that, I'm going to leave it at that. Wishing you all a very happy equinox. For those of us in the northern hemisphere, a return towards the light. Boy, do we ever deserve it. And as always, enjoy the life. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Namaste. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.